Hi everyone, you're listening to the Bridgeway podcast. The purpose of these podcasts is to give us the opportunity to share information and thoughts with you and to inspire all of you who work at Bridgeway. As ever, we'd love to hear from you, so if you've got any feedback, please get in touch.
Hello everybody and welcome to Bridgeway's podcast. I'm Dom Whitehead and I'm the drilling manager for the site investigation team. I'm also Bridgeway's Armed Forces and Reserves lead and ambassador, and today we are celebrating our Armed Forces community. So this year Reservist Day is the 26th of June and Armed Forces Day is celebrated on the 29th of June. So Bridgeway has been an advocate for the Armed Forces for a number of years, and we're proud to hold a gold award for the Employer Recognition Scheme, which recognises the work that we do to support the Armed Forces community. So today I'm catching up with Bryony who has recently joined our Engineering Academy and served as a combat medic within the Royal Medical Corps. So hi Bryony, thanks for joining me today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Before I joined Bridgeway, I left school to do my initial basic training. Then I went on to do my training as a combat medic.
Where did you do your training?
I did my training at Harrogate, which was like about 4 or 5 months, I think. And then I did my training as a combat medic, which for different people it changes, but for me it was about 6-7 months.
Okay.
But sometimes people could be in there for a long time doing the training.
And where did you do your training?
I did my training at Lichfield.
So what was it that brought you to join Bridgeway Consulting?
So I saw the job opportunity, and at first I was a bit wary because obviously I saw the railway, and you don't see many women joining the railway. But I went on and searched up on the website, and I saw that you was an advocate for the armed forces. And so then that's what made me submit my application, and then here we are.
Excellent. So it was actually our link with the military and the armed forces that we kind of clinched the deal?
Yeah, 100%, because when I left school, obviously I went straight into the army. I did no college, no university. So when I did choose to leave the army, I was a bit worried on where I was going to not end up, but like progress in life, because I had no qualifications whatsoever. So when joining Bridgeway, it's just obviously opened so much more opportunities with not having any qualifications.
That is amazing. It's great to hear that kind of the work that we've put forward in the employee recognition scheme is reaching to those people that it should, and it's doing the job, and it's the deciding factor, or can be the deciding factor, that's bringing people into the company.
So Dom, what was your military background?
So I joined the army and I joined the Royal Engineers. I was based in Germany as part of 2-8 Engineer Regiment, and I worked with 6-4 HQ Squadron, 522 Specialist Team Royal Engineers, and then 530 STRE, which is the Specialist Team Royal Engineers back in the UK, which are based in Nottingham, and that's been a big link between Bridgeway and the army, has been 530 STRE. Spent several years kind of moving around the world, visited all the best places, tours of Kosovo, Iraq, Afghan, and then exercised in Gibraltar, Kuwait, Qatar, Cyprus, Oman, Belize, and then I finished as a training instructor at the 1REG, which is 1RSME, which is the Royal School of Military Engineering. I was a corporal there for 2 years, training all the new soldiers and taking them through their trade training and passing them all the knowledge and experience that I'd gained from working overseas.
How did you find the transition from the military?
It was difficult at first. It's for people who are leaving the army and leaving the military. The military is not a job; it's a way of life.
Yeah. And
it can be really difficult. I think the longer that you spend in there, the harder it is to make the transition. And I know a lot of people do kind of bounce from job to job, trying to find that kind of role or that job that satisfies them in the way that the army did, or gives them what the army gave them. I don't really think that there is a direct role that does that, which I kind of think is why people tend to, or some people bounce from job to job. I'm quite lucky. I found Bridgeway, and kind of Bridgeway became my new army. and it provided me with an environment where I felt kind of secure, and my skills that I brought from the army were directly transferable. So I was able to settle in quite well.
Yeah, I think that's what I struggled with, especially I wasn't in for a long time, but they do drill it into you when you join to be like, this is how you need to act, this is what you need to do. So when leaving, I couldn't find a job really what was as physical and as motivating as what it was in the army.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I really struggled to get along with people my age as well, because they seem dead immature, not with it really.
Yeah, the experiences that you've had, and you're trying to explain them to your mates when you come home.
Yeah, and they just don't understand.
No, yeah, absolutely, fully appreciate where you're coming from on that one.
How did you come to be employed at Bridgeway?
When I left the army, and I got a position as a kind of lead rotary driller, which was a similar role to what I was doing when I was in the military. I was in 530. A bit of a steep learning curve, but I did that for a few years, and then a position became available back at 1 RSME as a military instructor. So I took that position, but I could not settle in that role. It was to be wearing green kit to then standing there wearing shirt and tie. I just couldn't do it. And I was then contacted by Mark Lindahl, who used to run the SI department. He offered me a position, and then the rest is history. I came and joined the team.
So at Bridgeway, you are also our Armed Forces Lead and Reservist Ambassador. What does that mean?
That means that when I'm with Bridgeway, I'm flying the reservist flag, and when I'm with the reserves, I'm flying the Bridgeway flag. So I have connections with military, and I have connections with the civilian side of things. So I try and bridge the gap and help people from Bridgeway understand the reserves, and help people from reserves understand kind of civistry and Bridgeway.
Yeah. What skills do you think those with a military background can bring to Bridgeway?
There's a huge amount of skills that people learn in the military that are 100% transferable to civilian jobs and Bridgeway Consulting. So if you've got military experience, you've got the determination to succeed, you've got the determination to get the task completed, no matter what it is, you're going to get it done. Good personal admin, you're trained to look after yourself, and you're trained to look after yourself in more difficult positions that a civilian job is going to ask you to do. Dealing with stressful situations, we know how to kind of cope, and hopefully no civilian job is going to give us more stress than what we had when we were in the army. Punctuality, respecting and understanding the rank structure. I know it's not the same. Kind of in a civilian company, it's not the same as it was in the army, but you do understand that there's a process and a chain of command. But I do feel that all of the skills that people learn in the army are definitely transferable to
especially as working as a team as well, because at Bridgeway is a big team.
Yeah, I agree with that. The ability to kind of to work on your own, but also when needed to work in a team.
Yeah. Did you think it was helpful to work with others that are ex-military when you came out of the military?
So when I initially came out, I was working with non-military personnel, and I very much noticed that I felt a lot different and I didn't really fit in. Then when I came to Bridgeway, there was quite a heavy kind of ex-military presence, and it did make me feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more secure. It's just it's the way you act around each other, it's the terminology that you use when you're having banter, when people are always telling stories and you can totally relate to what they're doing. And also I knew that people kind of understood the things that I'd done, and they understood how I was feeling, and the transition from military life to kind of civil life. So I think it certainly helped to be in a situation where I was around other ex-military.
How do you support those that are ex-military?
As I said, working with ex-military staff, I appreciate what they've done. I understand how they're feeling, and I can provide, or hope to provide, or try to provide an environment where they feel that they can fit in and they can settle in a lot more than working with just pure civilian staff who don't have any kind of military background.
What advice would you give to those wanting to leave the military?
So for the people who are looking to leave, they've made that decision that they want to kind of try Civvy Street and make a go on Civvy Street. Use your resettlement well. Make sure you've got a plan. Bridgeway, we do go to a lot of career fairs. We do put stands up in career fairs. So and there's a lot of companies that also do that. Spend time researching other companies and find a job. Don't just go for a job because it's a job. Spend your time looking for a job that's going to be able to satisfy what you want, and it's going to be able to tick the boxes for yourself. It's a big transition going from military to civvy, and if you're then dealing with the stress of being in a job that you're not happy with, it makes that transition even worse.
So I was interested in the reserves. Do you have any experience in that?
Yeah, so I'm currently a serving reservist. I'm with the Royal Engineers, and I'm a part of 530 SDRE, which is based in Nottingham. The role within 530 is very similar to the role that we do at Bridgeway or within site investigation. It is site investigation, it's drilling, it's checking materials, pavement quality, and with the reserves I've spent quite a bit of time overseas. I've done jobs in Gibraltar, Cyprus, Singapore. Singapore was really good. That was a good job. Bryony, it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much for your experiences and telling us what you're up to and the things that you've been doing in the past. Just to finish, thank you to all of those who have served and are serving in our armed forces. Thank you so much for all your sacrifices and everything that you do for the country. Armed Forces Day is going to be on the 29th. Enjoy the day, and thanks for listening.
Thank you.